as you've seen, what we want you to be using is these here. Okay, but you can always default back into a manual, using it manually if you want to. Okay, so obviously steam only, the manual function is there. Dry heat only, manual function is there, and the combination of the two is there. So you can play around with that to your heart's content. If I just, by opening the door, it means it's just not going to try and heat up every time I press a button, basically. So I'll just leave the door open for a bit. So if we go into the steam, yes, obviously just a manual screen. You can turn the temperature of the steam up and down, obviously for pretty much basically everything that you're going to do on steam. Just leave it at default, which is where it will default there, which just signifies boiling point. Okay, and again, like you've seen before, when we hit thick, it expected us to use the probe, so it had a temperature. Yeah, and when we hit thin, it was the product is too thin for us to put the probe in, so we're working on a time. So there are always your two choices. You're either working to a timer or to a temperature. Okay. So if you want to select a time, just change it there, and it will literally count down. Or if you want to select the temperature that you want to cook to, then you can select it there, and this will signify the current temperature that the probe is recording while it's in the product. Okay. As we saw when we did that before. Okay, when you use that ILC screen that we used earlier, it did the preheat manually, automatically rather. It just started doing it as soon as we closed the door. Here, if you want to preheat, again, it's a manual screen, so you just say, right, preheat, and it will do that. What it will do then is it will buzz you as soon as it reaches operating temperature. So there's no waiting around, guessing or anything. You can just crack on as soon as it buzzes you to say that it's up to temperature. And here it's telling us what the temperature is. Okay? So then dry heat, if you wanted to manually use a dry heat, then obviously just hit that button there. Shush. Okay, temperature range then is from 30 right up to 300.
Lot higher than steaming.
Yes. Okay. All right. So 300 we would very rarely use. We'd only really use
Too
it
hot.
for grilling steaks or doing pizzas or something where it's really, really high heat and you want to get an effect in
Crunchy.
the quickest time.
Yeah.
Got this dry already.
Be careful if you're on dry heat only. Just be a little bit careful with this slider here. It's important that you know what it does. Okay? Because we're in dry heat, we're not controlling the moisture in the cabinet. So whatever moisture comes out of the food is staying in there as it would do in a normal oven. Okay. But what you can do, if you want to, is remove some of it. Okay. So we're not artificially adding moisture. Okay. It's whatever moisture comes from the food in this mode. But if you want to put colour onto something very quickly, if you remove the moisture that's in the cabinet and turn the temperature up, then you will colour things, crisp things very quickly.
Right.
So obviously, you know, if you wanted to do a crackling on a piece of pork or you know, really crisp up skin on a chicken, then you can remove that moisture and it will really, really crisp it up. Just be a little bit careful with it, because if you pull all of it out and take the temperature right up, then
Burn quick.
things change very, very quickly. Okay. Then the rest of that is exactly the same. I didn't mention that before. That's just a continuous button, so if you just want it to run at a certain temperature until you tell it to stop and do something else, then you can just hit continuous. Okay. And then the manual mode, where you can control the moisture and the dry heat at the same time. Okay, so actually for things like cooking the chicken in the first place rather than reheating it, if you use the combi mode, then it will cook faster because we're controlling the moisture, so the heat will transfer into the product faster. Okay. And obviously on that mode you still have the ability to go right up to 300 degrees if you want to. Okay? So all of your settings, so to speak, that are in there can be achieved manually by manipulating these three
Yeah.
different environments and the temperatures and the amount of moisture and the amount of dry heat, etc., etc. So it's all still there if you want to do something manually. But obviously the majority of the time what we're going to be doing is using the settings. So we're going to be telling it what type of
ต้ม
food.
ไข่ก็ได้
Okay.
บอกโพสเอง
So, for example, so if you hit the chicken
Yes.
one now,
chicken
that would cook that as a combination, heat and steam, or you have that option there. All right.
Depending
of course.
how, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like a drop-down menu. You go into the poultry.
Yeah.
So then poultry then has all of those options.
Right.
Okay. So if you want to roast it,
Yeah.
that will set up a roasting environment. If you want to pan fry it, that will set up a pan fry environment. And so on and so forth. Grill,
Yeah.
yeah. Then it's going to be
Yeah.
running majority dry heat, very high temperature. But the added bonus here is that it's monitoring and adjusting according to how much you put in there.
Right.
Okay. So you're always going to get the same result that you ask for, regardless of how much you put in there. So it's not just running as a basic, unintelligent sort of timed
Yeah. Yeah.
process. It's
Which is-
monitoring what's in there. So, for example, of your initial cook of those, if you're cooking a batch off of those, then what you would do, we could go to the roasted chicken
Yeah.
setting if that's how you want to do it. Okay. Then you would say, do I want it light in colour or do I want it dark in colour at the end? What
Right.
result do I want? And what core temperature do we want to cook it to?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, your initial cook on that, not your reheat, but your initial cook on that means that we've got to cook right through the bone, etc. So you want nice high, well done temperature.
Yeah.
As it says in there. Okay. So, for example, if we tested it and we said, do you know what, I'd like it when it comes out with one step down on there on the colour, because we're going to add colour again when we reheat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And 85 degrees was spot on. That's how we're going to do it every single time. You can then save that. Okay. Can't you?
Come on.
How do you save it? You click this one
Yep.
to save it, I guess.
Yep.
You get the name.
Then you
roast
Yeah.
chicken
Your chicken or just say
Yes.
chicken?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
the up and down bit.
roast chicken ก่อน A ไม่เอา S ออก A S T S T space
ตัวให
C
ญ่
H C ตัวใหญ่
ตัวใหญ่แล้วมันดูงงทุกครั้งเลย
Yeah.
Save it.
done
Oh, okay. Simple.
So click the
Yeah. You're writing it down. You're putting it in your notepad for later. Yeah. So, important point of that then is if you're doing a batch of 3 portions, it will achieve that result. Okay. It will map the perfect cooking route to achieve that
True,
result.
yeah.
If you fill it up, put 15 portions in it, it will
The
achieve
same
that
as
result. It will map, obviously,
All the way
slightly
across.
different cooking path because of the volume that we put in there, but it will achieve that result.
So you don't need
Okay.
to worry about
So from the front screen, if you want to access that again, then you've taken it from a template here and saved it with your particular setting, and it's gone into your notepad. Okay. So if you want to find it again,
Nope.
if you want to find it again, you've written it in your notepad.
on your note
Okay, so now you can go up and down through here, and you can go, yeah, that one. Okay, so you can, as you can see, when you do your processes,
Remember
these
to store.
Yeah.
these are templates
Yeah.
for
So
you
it's to set, yeah.
adjust.
Yeah.
Once you've got it how you want it, save
Save
it.
it.
File in
then
the notepad.
Your specific result
there.
then
Yeah.
is in there. Okay.
Direct.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. Next stage then is when you want to do the different things on different levels. Okay. So if we take a grill environment, we've already set up that for steam. Yeah, we've done that you can play around with. Okay. If we set up another one for grill, I'll show you how you can build that. Okay. So we always start with the type of food that we're cooking. As you can see, if we go into poultry, if we up the top here is if you're doing one batch of something. Yeah, like we use that. Okay. Down the bottom here, these are the ones to use if you want to save individual programs that you want to put together with other things. Okay. So in poultry, you see that we've got a ILC grill environment. If we just come out, if we go into fish now, we've still got an ILC grill environment. Okay. So regardless of if it's a poultry product, then obviously we save it under that. If it's a fish product, we save it under that. But because they are both under ILC grill, we can put them together.
Oh.
Okay. So, for example, we were going to poultry. Actually, you should do this.
Good job.
Otherwise, I just stand there
Yeah.
pressing buttons. And
Yeah, no, it's good to do it.
Okay,
So
if you go into
poultry-
ILC grill.
Grill.
And again, always do this with the door open. Otherwise, it just tries
Okay.
to
Do it.
preheat
Yeah.
on you all the time. Okay, so if you just an example, we'll delete it again at the end, and then you can play around with it. But if you change the time, for example, to whatever to 8 minutes, so you slide it like that. If you move it with the dial, it goes up by the second. Yeah, and then that by the minute. So then if you save that,
Grilled chicken.
That on grill now.
Grilled chicken, you know.
Grilled
Your
sea.
poultry.
Yes. Yeah.
Betul?
that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Right, we'll come out. Now if you go to, do you want to go to fish? Again, ILC grill. Okay. Change the time to something.
กริล
whatever.
นี่น่าจะ
10.
10 นะ จ้า
So what the difference between thick and thin again?
yeah on the side
Thin is a timer.
Okay.
Thick will ask you to put the probe into it, so it's cooking to a temperature.
Okay.
ที่เส
Okay.
ร็จหนา
Okay.
เกิน
So we do thin.
So
Save that one then, Sam.
yeah, if you
Oh,
save
salmon.
that,
เซฟต้องแผดต้องแผด
นะ
ไม่
ที่มี
ค่ะ
ปากกา
นั่นแหละ Grilled fish.
Good laugh. He's going to throw these away again, aren't you? So,
yeah,
เป็นสำคัญ
and just save.
บังหมดเลย บังอันนี้ก็
Okay. So now in our notepad,
นะ
you see we've got
กริลกริลชิค
grill
เก้
sea
กริลฟิช
and grill fish.
Okay.
Okay. They're saved as an ILC program. In other words, programs that we can put together with other ones. Okay. So you'll see that the roast chicken one hasn't got a little ILC
No.
symbol on it. So
Yeah.
that means it's just a single process, single product. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll go to the ILC screen. So it will always come up with the last one that we've used. Okay, so the one that we use the most, basically it
พี่
will
สาวเดินไปปิด
default
ประตู
to.
แป๊บนึงได้ไหม
Okay. Okay.
มันแสง
What I'm just going to do is clear all of that off. It won't delete it from the menu, from the memory. I'll just clear it off so that we can build another one. Okay.
แสง
So we're now on this screen. What we want to do is bring in Grill C and Grill F so that we can do them both at the same
Both
time.
together.
Okay. So one option that we have up there is a list of programs. So if you hit that, it will take us to the list of programs that we've created,
yeah
and then you can select Grill C, go back to the list, select Grill F. They're now in there. Okay. So if that's the group that we want to save now, then we just save in exactly the same way.
So if you want to do grilled
Notepad.
prawn,
Yeah.
and tick
Hang on. Sorry. Go on.
and say if we want to add on the grilled prawn,
Yeah.
so
พี่สาวเอากระดาษ
Okay.
เซ็ตสองให้หน่อย
We have to
Come
create
down
that
there.
first.
okay.
Okay. So go to fish. ILC grill. Probably whatever. 3 minutes.
yeah
4 minutes.
I say about not very good with this thing, you know.
You're a bit gentle. Be a bit rougher with it.
push harder
Yeah,
Yep. Save that.
thin, that's okay.
แค่4 นาที
Yep.
prawn อ๋อ grill prawn and
Maybe need to put grill on them.
P R
So. Okay. So now that's added in there. Yeah. Okay. So go back to this screen here.
ต่อไปเซต grill starter
Go to the list and pick grilled prawn. That will now add there.
Okay.
and we have to set
So yeah, so now we save the group as grilling or whatever you want to call it.
Because we do a lot of grilled prawn, grilled fish, grilled scallop,
grill chicken
chicken
starter
satay as well.
Yeah. Okay. So now save that as a group. So do you want to save it? So exactly the same way. Just say yes, it's a group. Then it's asking you what. We
Shopping
call it a
cart.
shopping cart. So
Okay.
what's the
Grill?
name? Grilling. Yeah.
Grill.
grill
Save. Okay. So now, in your notepad list, you'll see you've got your individual one process thing. Then you've got all your individual ILC programs, but you've also got
grill
a group.
grill
Save now. So when you hit that, it just takes you straight to that screen. Then you can just pull one of those down, automatically preheat. Once it's preheated, it will hold that temperature so it's ready to cook whenever you want it.
And then when you
And you,
preheat
again, just
the-
take that. Yeah, this is just saying it's for the next few minutes until 11:51. It's preheating. Once it's there, it will just hold that temperature, ready to cook. Okay.
So when it's doing that, you said it's to 11:51. That's saying to the time it's going to be. But does it have a countdown time? How otherwise you're processing, aren't you? Like it's 11:45. So it's going to take 6 minutes to heat it up. But is there a countdown timer on that as well? Or
That yellow
Yeah.
block will come.
All right.
Will get smaller and smaller as it gets there. Yeah. But obviously, you only have to do that at the start of the day,
Yeah.
the start of the service.
Yeah.
Once it's there, it's there. It'll be ready to cook all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.